Most applications are interactive. The user performs actions, such as selecting options or changing values. Welcome back to Rxjs and Angular Reactive Development from Pluralsight. My name is Deborah Kurata, and in this module, we combine streams to react to actions. If we have a long list of products, we may want to provide a filter feature. Here, the user filters the list by category. We need our application to react to the user's action and adjust the displayed data. In this module, we walk through how to filter an observable stream and quickly find that our data stream alone can't react to user changes. We need an action stream. We examine the difference between a data stream and an action stream, then discover a special type of observable called a subject and its related behavior subject. We leverage that knowledge to create an action stream and combine it with our data stream so it can react to actions. Lastly, we look at how to start our actions with an initial value. The Rxjs features covered in this module include filter, start with, subject, and behavior subject. Let's get started. Our focus in this module is on reacting to actions. So let's start with a filter action, selecting a category and filtering our list to only those items with that category. Rxjs provides an operator for filtering. Filter only emits items from the input stream that match criteria specified in the provided function. In this example, we filter the items to those that match apple. It works similar to the array filter method. Looking at the marble diagram, our source stream emits 3 items. Each item is piped through the filter operator, and only the A's are emitted to the output stream. More formally, filter is a transformation operator. It takes an observable stream as an input, subscribes to it, and creates an output stream. When an item is emitted, the item is evaluated as specified by the provided function. If the evaluation returns true, the item is emitted to the output stream. Let's give it a try. This demo is our first attempt at filtering a stream. We are not yet populating the category dropdown, so we'll hard code in a selected category ID and filter the list to only those items with that category. We are back in VS Code with the APM folder open. The first question we ask ourselves is where to put the filtering. We could filter in the service, especially if we want a common filtered result to use throughout the application. But more often, filtering is scoped to a specific component and user action. Let's add our filtering to the product list component. Because we don't yet have the UI implemented, let's hard code a default category selection. We'll define a variable that holds the ID of the user-selected category. Next, we create a new stream for our filtered list. I'll paste the code and we can walk through it. I'll use the quick fix to add the needed imports. Here we map the products array emitted by the observable and use the arrays filter method instead of the Rxjs filter operator. For the filter, we only want the products with a category ID matching the selected category ID, but there could be no selected category. We use the ternary operator to check the selected category ID. If it's set, we check the products category ID against the selected category ID. Otherwise, there is no selected category ID, and we return true to select all products. Before we try it out, we need to bind to this new observable. In the product list template, change products $, to products simple filter $. In the product list component, we hard-coded the selected category ID to 1, so we should only see the products in the garden category. Bringing up the browser, our list is filtered to the garden products, yay! But we don't want a hard-coded filter. We want to display the list of categories in this drop-down and filter the list based on the user's selection. This demo is our second attempt at filtering a stream. Our goal is to display a drop-down of categories and filter the list based on the user-selected category. First, we need to populate the category dropdown. The product category service provides an observable that emits the array of product categories. We'll use that to bind to the dropdown. In the product list component, we start by injecting the product category service in the constructor and add the needed import. Then we delete the local categories property and define a property for the product category stream. We assign it to the product categories observable defined in the product category service. We include some exception handling. In the product list template, we change the option element to bind to our category's $stream using the async pipe. We don't need the as clause in this case because we aren't referencing the categories anywhere else but here. In the select element, I've already bound to the dropdown's change event, which calls the onSelected method in our component, passing in the selected value. Back in the product list component, here is the onSelected method. Let's delete the log statement and set the selected category ID to the ID the user selected. We use a plus sign here to cast it to a number. The plus sign is required, or the triple equal in the filter function won't match our value. Checking it out in the browser, we still have the initial value of our selected category ID property hard-coded to 1, so we see the list filtered to only those in the garden category. And our drop-down displays the categories, so that works. But selecting a category does not refilter our list. Looking back at the product list component, changing the selected category ID does not re-execute our pipeline. How do we notify our stream to react to user actions? An observable stream is an observable stream, but we can think about a stream a bit differently depending on its purpose. When we call HTTP GET, the observable stream emits one item, the response. The stream then completes. In this example, our response is mapped to a product array. We can think of this stream as a data stream, and it's basically dead, meaning it's complete and won't re-execute or react to changes. When we define a stream for an action, the stream emits an item anytime the action occurs. Here, the user selected to filter by garden, then by tools, then by all. We can think of this stream as an action stream. The stream is alive and keeps emitting new actions until the stream is stopped. Recall from the last module what happens when we combine streams with combine latest? Combine latest emits after both streams have emitted, and then again each time the action stream emits. The array emitted from combine latest contains our data plus the latest action information. And when combine latest emits, it refires the downstream pipeline. So if the pipeline filters the data, it will perform the filter again. This is key to reacting to actions. Let's look at an example. Here we combine our product's $data stream and an action stream. Each time the action stream emits, combine latest emits. The pipeline is re-executed, the list is refiltered, and the filtered list is emitted. Since the template is bound to this observable, the UI is updated with the refiltered list. It's like magic, and illustrates one of the key benefits of using a reactive approach. By combining a data stream with an action stream, our code automatically reacts to user actions and adjusts the display accordingly. If we use HTTP to get our data stream is created by the HTTP client service. How do we create an action stream? We could use one of the built-in streams, such as value changes, when working with forms. We could use the from event creation function to create a stream from an event. But a common technique for creating an action stream is to use a subject or behavior subject. What's a subject and behavior subject? Let's talk about that next. Going back to our apple factory example, an observable stream is like apples on a conveyor. And we are the observer, with instructions on what to do when the next apple is emitted, if there is an error, or if the stream completes. Now imagine that the factory is fully automated. The automation provides the observable stream, and is the observer of that stream. A subject is a special type of observable that is both an observable and an observer. Another key difference between an observable and a subject is that an observable is unicast. Each subscriber gets its own copy of the observable stream. A subject is multicast. Multiple subscribers share the same stream. Using a subject, we can share our actions among multiple subscribers. We create an instance of a subject to define a new action stream. Here we define a stream of numbers. We access the underlying observable using asObservable. Notice the naming convention here. I use a suffix of subject for the subject and a suffix of action $ for the action observable. Since the subject is an observer, we can call next error or complete on the subject instance. Calling next emits the defined item to the stream, so when the user selects a different category, we emit the selected category ID to the action stream. By combining our data stream with our new action stream, an item is emitted every time the user selects a category. The pipeline is re-executed, refiltering the products by the selected category ID. Behavior subject is a special type of subject that works the same way, but provides an initial default value passed to the constructor. Here it provides an initial value of 0. A behavior subject buffers the last emitted value and replays it back to each new subscriber. That way each new subscriber gets the latest value. We'll look more at initial values shortly. Let's see how to use subject to react to user actions. For our data stream to react to actions, we first create an action stream. One way to create an action stream is to use subject or behavior subject. Then we combine the action stream with our data stream. Lastly, we emit a value to the action stream every time an action occurs. That re-executes our observable pipeline, reacting to the user action. Let's give it a try. Our goal is to react to category selections by refiltering the product list. Let's start on the product list template by changing our binding back to our products $ observable. In the product list component, let's delete the simple filter and delete the selected category ID here and here. Now we follow our 3 steps. First, we create an action stream. We want the action stream to emit the selected category ID every time the user selects a category. That ID is a number, so we create a new subject of number and use the quick fix to add the import. No other code should use this subject, so we define it as private. Then we expose the subject's observable using asObservable. Our next step is to combine the action stream with our data stream. Instead of setting products $ to just the data stream, we set it to the combination of the data stream and action stream. Let's use combine latest and add the needed import. Be sure to import combine latest from Rxjs to use the creation function. If you import combine latest from Rxjs operators, you'll import the deprecated operator, and you'll get an error when you try to pipe the result. We pass our 2 streams in to combine latest. We specify the products with category stream from the product service. We use that and not the products $ stream because we want to display the category string, not the ID. And we specify our newly created action stream. In the pipeline, we perform our filter. I'll paste the code and we can talk through it. We first destructure the array elements emitted from combine latest. The first stream emits the array of products, so we name the first array element products. The second stream emits the selected category ID every time the user selects a category from the drop-down, so we name the second array element selected category ID. Then we use the products array filter method to filter our list. We use the same filtering logic we used in our simple filter that handles null values. We've now created an action stream and combined the action stream with our data stream. Our last step is to emit a value from the action stream every time an action occurs. The onSelected method is called each time the user selects an item from the category dropdown. In the onSelected method, we use the subject's next method to emit the selected category ID to the stream. Be sure to add the plus sign here to cast the ID to a number, otherwise the filter logic may not work. That does it. Let's check it out in the browser. Oh, the page is blank. What happened? Let's pick a category. That works. Picking Display All displays all the products. Why was our initial page blank? Looking back at the code, it's because we have no initial value emitted from our action stream. Recall that Combine Latest does not emit until each input stream emits. With no initial value, our action stream did not emit, so Combine Latest did not emit. So Products $ did not emit, and our async pipe had no value to display. To correct this issue, let's see how to set an initial value. We sometimes want our streams to start with an initial value. This is especially important when working with action streams, since they often impact the default display of a page. In this example, we want the category filter to start with Display All. There are several ways to start a stream with an initial value. We'll cover two. We can use the Start With operator, or we can use a behavior subject instead of a subject. Recall that behavior subject is a special type of subject that provides a default value and buffers the last emitted value to replay to any new subscribers. Let's look first at the Start With operator. Start With provides an initial value. Here we start with an orange string. Looking at the marble diagram, in this example, we use of to create a source stream of strings. We set a start value of O. The start value is emitted to the stream before the source observable values. More formally, Start With is a combination operator that combines its initial value with the input stream. It takes an observable stream as an input, subscribes to it, and creates an output stream. When each item is emitted, if it's the first item, it emits the specified values to the output stream. Then it emits the item to the output stream. The specified initial values must be the same type as the input observable. Let's try it out. In the product list component, we want our action stream to start with 0, which is the value for our Display All option. We pipe our action stream through the Start With operator, specifying a value of 0, and set the required import. Bring up the browser, and we see that we now have the appropriate default set of products. Yay! And our category filter still works. Going back to the code, let's undo that change. And we see in the browser that the initial list of products are no longer displayed. Now let's change the subject to a behavior subject and add the appropriate import. We see a syntax error. That's because behavior subject is expecting a default value passed to its constructor. We'll specify 0. Checking it out in the browser, and it's working again. We have the appropriate default set of products. Use either Start With or behavior subject anytime you need to start a stream with a default value. Let's finish up this module with a brief summary and checklist for using the features we've covered. There are 3 key steps for reacting to actions. Create an action stream, often using a subject or behavior subject. Combine the action stream with the data stream so the data stream can react to the action. And emit a value to the action stream when an action occurs. In this module, we covered several Rxjs features. Filter filters the items in a stream by only emitting items that match a provided criteria function. In our example, since our source observable emits an array, we use the arrays filter method instead of the filter operator. Start with defines an initial value emitted before the input stream values. A subject is a special type of observable that is both an observable stream and an observer with next, error, and complete methods. A subject is multicast, meaning multiple subscribers share the same stream. A behavior subject is a special type of subject that emits an initial value. It buffers the last emitted item and replays it to each new subscriber, so each subscriber starts with the latest value. Use subject to create an action stream if you don't need an initial value. Use behavior subject if you want to define an initial value for the stream. This is especially important when combining streams with combine latest, because combine latest won't emit until each of its input streams emit. Next, let's look at a few more examples of reacting to actions.